Hey everyone, Mtashed here, and I have a little bit of a different video, something very different than I've ever done on this channel, but I wanted to discuss with you guys or break down why Twitch streamers and some YouTubers got absolutely screwed by Destiny 2. Now, no, just wait. That sounds bad. That sounds really controversial. I don't want to talk about flaws in Destiny 2, balance, issues, anything like that. I don't actually want to talk about the game. I want to talk about the ecosystem of Twitch and YouTube and how many of the Destiny content creators ended up getting, well, royally fucked in the process. So let's get started. Many people that played Destiny 1 have thousands of hours played. Many of the streamers have 1, 2, 3, 4, or even more thousand hours played. Now, when you compare this to something like Skyrim or even a Borderlands 2, I played the shit out of those games. But when I went back and looked, I actually only have 150 hours in Skyrim, and I have 220 hours in Borderlands. That is a metric ton of time to be spent playing a video game, and getting even that amount of longevity is pretty damn good and successful. With Destiny 1, the average person was putting in 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 hours minimum. And there were some outliers with the thousands of hours played in a single game. That is absurd. That is absolutely astronomical when you compare it to every game ever made and the average time that a player plays it. Now, this was great for the Destiny community because people that would stream Destiny were able to build a following, and they were able to build a comfortable following long term because many of the people watching them were still playing the game and enjoying it. For years after the launch of the game, it had a bustling Twitch presence with 15, 20, 25,000 viewers minimum. And on things like the Trials of Osiris weekends, sometimes you get into the 30s and 40,000, which is as high as some games get, period, at the launch of the game. So not only was Destiny able to maintain an audience, it actually had a stronger audience than many games do at launch. When you compare this to something like a League of Legends, which might have 100,000 people watching it or 70,000 people watching it at any given time, League of Legends is one of the biggest games in the world. So even having half of that number or a third of that number is tremendous. And Destiny 1 was able to hold that for a very, very long time. Now, this leads us to our problem. A lot of us, me included, had spent so much time playing Destiny that we were branded as Destiny content creators. And many of us did try to post content or stream other games, but the success we would have in other directories wasn't that impressive. And in most cases, many of us went back to Destiny because we were scared. I know myself, I tried posting videos on different games. I would get a half or third or fifth of the views, and I'd go, not doing that. It's scary as hell. But so many of us did that for so long that we pigeonholed ourselves in a directory where it was all the same kind of people watching us. There weren't new people coming in, there were just the same people that would watch a Gathalion stream or a KJ Hovey stream or a Real Crafty stream trickling into everyone else's streams when they weren't online. What this means now is many of us have the exact same fan base, but that fan base likes a particular streamer more than another. I'm gonna give you guys an example here. I'm not shit talking anyone. I'm not trying to like complain or anything, but I would argue that a lot of the people that used to watch me also watched Luminosity, Real Crafty, Frostbolt, some of these extremely high skill players, and I was the secondary guy. They go to me after. I know this because when those players would be online, I would always have less viewers. There was an obvious bias towards who their favorite streamer was and who they would watch. And a lot of the times it would come down to either humor, sexiness, like me, I mean, that's my thing, or skill. I wasn't the most skilled, I wasn't the most watched, I wasn't the biggest guy, and that's fine. But what's crazy is even the biggest streamers in the Destiny directory, upon the launch of Destiny 2, started to struggle. And the reason why is because everyone was banking on Destiny 2 being huge. And when I mean everyone, I mean everyone. It wasn't just the Destiny content creators that were pumped for Destiny 2. Many large streamers with hundreds of thousands of followers were hoping that Destiny 2 would be big, and they waited to stream the game until it came out. They didn't try to jump in the directory for Destiny 1 because it was so saturated, and believed that Destiny 2 would be an eye-opening, huge experience with massive growth potential. So, at the launch of Destiny 2, people like myself were buried, but even the big people that had twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 10 times my viewers weren't in the top slots of the directory growing on Twitch. They were actually buried by bigger variety streamers that were bringing their audience to the Destiny directory. So even the people that were the most loyal to the franchise didn't have any sort of staying power at the beginning of Destiny 2. At the time, you would expect growth to be the largest and people to be the most excited. There were people with thousands of viewers that were now getting 400 viewers or 300 viewers. And it wasn't their fault. There was nothing they could do. The saturation in the directory was just so large that only the biggest and the baddest streamers, someone like a Gathalion or a Broman, were getting any sort of growth or traction in Destiny 2. My god, I'm talking fast. I'm trying to finish this quickly. So what you ended up getting was a bunch of loyal, fantastic streamers with little to no growth from the Destiny 2 launch, and in most cases, they actually lost money. They lost following, or maybe not followers, but they lost momentum because they weren't at the top of the directory, they weren't growing as much, people were busy playing themselves and not watching streams, and they have now hit a rut where they're getting less viewers and they're getting less money, and it's harder and harder to sustain themselves online in this Twitch directory. And for the first few months with all this influx of streamers, it was very difficult to see any sort of growth on Twitch for a Destiny content creator. Now, not to brag or not to say anything else, I recognize this, and I completely stopped streaming Destiny 2 after the first few days, and I focused almost 100% of my time on making guides and videos for Destiny 2. I had the best months of my YouTube career. I grew astronomically. I think it was like 60,000 subs in the course of, 2 months. But my Twitch died, and it's still much, much lower because I wasn't able to commit to Twitch any longer. I got very fucking lucky. I got extremely lucky that YouTube ended up doing well, or I would be quitting content creation, period. Because once it was time to get back on Twitch, on the main game that was growing my channel, everyone had started realizing that Destiny 2 wasn't that fun. And all of the large streamers that had come to the directory started quitting. Like Summit. Witwix, I believe, was playing. There's people like, Flamesword. There's a bunch of people that were playing Destiny 2 for quite a while, obsessively, tweeting it, talking about it, excited about Destiny 2, and they all left at the same time. And what you were left with was a smaller directory that wasn't showing up as, high in the games, but you also had less people just playing. Not only were the streamers quitting, but the viewers that would potentially be in those streams were quitting as well. So even if you had a hardcore, long-term supporter of the game, someone like a Grenader Jake or a Real Crafty, streaming this game, their viewership was lower than even with Destiny 1 on a Trials weekend. If you compared Trials of the Nine to Trials of Osiris, their viewerships in many situations were lower, even though they were these huge, dedicated Destiny streamers, because no one was playing the game or watching the game. Unfortunately, the watchability of Destiny 2 is much lower than Destiny 1, and people found it very, very boring to watch. And if you're not going to watch it, you're not going to be in a stream, right? But if you're not going to play it, you're definitely not going to watch it. Like, if people weren't even bringing themselves to get online and grind, there's no fucking way that they're going to go to a Twitch stream and spend their time watching the game they don't enjoy playing themselves. Not only was the population falling, people weren't watching, people weren't playing, but now these other streamers were unfortunately hitting that same point. The most dedicated streamers out there, myself included, we weren't really playing the game. And when you can't play your main game, what should statistically grow you, because no one's watching it, and you can't play the game because you're not having fun, you're forced to play other games. And as we said before, when you play other games that you don't have an audience for, your numbers drop. and they drop severely, unfortunately. Someone like myself that used to get, 3, maybe 400 people in Destiny, when I play a different game, I get 80 or 90. I get a fourth, a fifth of the views on Twitch. And that ratio probably applies to most streamers out there. Someone that gets 1,000 viewers maybe gets 200. Someone who used to get 1,500 maybe gets 350, 400. I know that there's some people that are outliers and that have better views on different games, and they have a more dynamic audience that will follow them. But someone like myself, Twitch is a very scary place for me. There's no discoverability. There's no reason for anyone to watch my stream over someone else unless they know that I'm a funny guy, or maybe I'm sexy, or I make good plays. But simply looking at my name does not equal this guy is better than that guy. Now, with something like a YouTube video, people can search for a specific topic. I want to find a review on the Merciless Fusion Rifle. Boop! It pops up, and there's 3 to choose from. Maybe there's me, maybe there's Dado, maybe there's Holtzman. People are able to find me on YouTube, but when you go onto Twitch, you have now given 600 options, and you have to pick out, well, who's the best one? It's a very different dynamic on Twitch. So these amazing streamers that I know, some of my friends that deserve huge audiences, are buried under a fuckload of names that maybe they're better streamers, maybe they're not better streamers. Maybe they're funnier, maybe they're not. Maybe they're sexy, maybe they're better. Like, there's so many factors that go into it, but no one can really pick between who is better, who is more watchable, who they would like more. They just have to kind of pick and choose, and hopefully they find a community that they like. Many of us, instead of having this defined role, defined name, oh, I want a skilled stream, I'm gonna go watch Luminosity. That was, the reality for us. People would go on the Destiny directory and go, what do I want to watch today? Do I want to watch some funny antics? Do I want to watch some Punishment Destiny with Mtashed flexing behind his chair? Or do I want to watch some sweaty gameplay with someone like a Luminosity or an Anbu? They had those decisions, and it was a little bit more, catered. That directory experience was much more catered. Now, when a lot of these viewers are clicking on a game, they are picking and choosing with no sort of guide on who's the best other than the guy with the most viewers. It's a tough situation for many of these Twitch streamers to be in. The Destiny directory failing and, having 1,000 viewers means that even if you want to stream Destiny, in most cases you're not going to get a lot of growth. And if you go stream a different game, you're going to be buried under all of these other people. There's no good answer. There's no good fix. It's just shitty. It's just unfortunate. A lot of good people that I know got fucked. It sucks. I don't know why I just said sucks. It sucks. I might have rambled a little bit here. I might have not hit my points. I'm going to watch this back, and if it's kind of good enough to post, I'll do it. I might have to record this a couple of times because there's so much to cover. But I guess I just wanted to throw out some other positivity after that, whole bunch of negativity is just, if you're one of my friends that was streaming, that was YouTubing, that maybe has fallen off a little bit with your audience, you haven't been streaming as much, maybe you're negative or not feeling the best about things, I want you to remember that you got to where you were for a reason. If you carry it to another game, I assure you, in time you will succeed. You will get to that top directory spot. You will grow. You'll be able to sustain things. But it's going to take a lot of effort. And unfortunately, we don't have a home right now to bolster this nice, smooth, convenient, comfortable growth. We're going to have to grind again. And if you want it, you'll make it happen. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.